So, welcome to the first edition of Dem-Nazis. So, basically, this is a video. I'm going to try to make it a video series about Democrats who are basically Nazis. Now, if you disagree upon that, you can put your comments below. But the point of the matter is this: these people have been doing Naziist things. Why? Well, you want to basically introduce socialism to a country that's predominantly capitalist, has abundance of freedom, especially the freedom to tell you to fuck off, and you want to be totalitarian about it and authoritative about it. And that doesn't really go over well, but you want to change the laws and try to suit yourself. And not only does that make you more of a Nazi, but it also makes you a parasite because you want to terraform the United States as a inhabitable place where in which you basically thrive as a parasitic alien. And again, you can comment on that below. So, with that being said, we're going to take a look at Joyce Reed, who has been their token. In the beginning of the intro, you saw insert a token. Well, Democrats in particular, white Democrats, like to use minorities as tokens. Whether it be Joyce Reed, AOC, or anyone a part of the squad, they're tokens. And they like to use them as shields. Well, we're progressive. We basically help all these people because we're white and we can do that, which is bullshit. And the Republican Party basically helps facilitate that in a lot of ways. We're not racist. We have black friends. Really, why the hell would you basically capitulate to that? But I digress. The point is that Democrats are Nazis. But the white Democrats like to use minorities as tokens. So here we go.
You know, Senator Padilla, Ted Cruz says a lot of stupid things. He does a lot of stupid things. But I personally, as a person of color, as a black person, am beyond offended that he would dare use the word Jim Crow when his party is literally a Jim Crow party at this point, trying to suppress the votes of people, including...
That little button that you saw was basically calling out racism, and this is a common tactic that Democrats like to use, among other things. Sexism, homophobia, any number of things. But racism, it tends to be their number one go-to. And it's a baseless type of claim because they have nothing else to indicate a viable argument. So if they can't explain something, they'll use a token card or something like that because they're back into a corner and they don't want to look stupid, but too late they do. So she mentioned, well, this is Jim Crow. Well, let's look at the definition of Jim Crow law.
We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shots.
I learned a lot, and I learned that and Corn Pop was a bad dude.
I think the two-party system is good for the South and good for the Negro, good for the black in the South. Other than the fact that they still call me boy, I think they've changed their mind a little bit.
And he's run for president twice before, unsuccessfully. He's never before been the front runner. Now that he is towering over all the other declared Democratic candidates, his almost 5 decades in public life are getting some real scrutiny. On top of that list, his record on civil rights during his younger days as a U.S. Senator. CNN's Jeff Zeleny has exclusively obtained some letters written by Biden himself.
Joe Biden is coming back as a solo act.
I'm ready to go.
With his long record facing a new look under the spotlight of the 2020 campaign.
Gentlemen and ladies of the Senate.
One chapter receiving fresh scrutiny comes from his earliest years in the Senate, when he strongly opposed mandatory school busing. It was designed to achieve integration and a more equitable education. What's less known is how he followed the lead of some of the Senate's most fervent segregationists. In a series of never-before-published letters reviewed by CNN, the strength of Biden's opposition to busing comes into sharper focus. On March 25, 1977, Biden wrote, "My bill strikes at the heart of the injustice of court-ordered busing. It prohibits the federal courts from disrupting our educational system." Biden sought and received support from Mississippi Senator James Eastland, the Democratic chairman of the Judiciary Committee and a leading symbol of Southern resistance to desegregation. He frequently spoke of blacks as, quote, an inferior race. Eastland and others were partners on several of Biden's anti-busing bills. On June 30th, 1977, Biden wrote, "Dear Mr. Chairman, I want you to know that I very much appreciate your help during this week's committee meeting in attempting to bring my anti-busing legislation to a vote." Then in 1978, Biden again asked Eastland to put his anti-busing bill before the full Senate, writing, "Your participation in floor debate would be welcome." Ronnie Dunn is a professor at Cleveland State University who co-wrote the book Boycotts, Busing, and Beyond.
Those letters I find somewhat surprising given Senator Biden's or Vice President Biden's current position and potential candidacy for the presidency and his position as a liberal. Those are issues that he's obviously going to have to answer for.
You said surprising. Surprising in what way?
Well, the fact that he would solicit the support of staunch segregationists, James Eastland as well as Jesse Helms, introducing legislation as opposing busing at that time.
Now to the race for 2020 this morning and new backlash against former Vice President Joe Biden. He's refusing to apologize as he faces growing criticism over comments he made about being able to work with others in Washington. But his examples were segregationist senators 40 years ago.
Apologize for what?
Refusing to apologize for touting his ability to find common ground with senators he disagreed with, even segregationists. Biden is facing sharp criticism. At a fundraiser Tuesday, Biden describing Senator Herman Talmadge of Georgia as one of the meanest guys I ever knew, but adding, well, guess what? At least there was some civility. We got things done. And recalling Senator James Eastland of Mississippi, Biden said, he never called me boy. He always called me son. Biden's 2020 rival, Senator Cory Booker, demanding an apology.
Somebody running for president of the United States, somebody running to be the leader of our party, should know that using the word boy in the way he did can cause hurt and pain. Vice President Biden shouldn't need this lesson.
Now, Biden actually took it a step further, saying that it was Senator Cory Booker who owes him the apology.
Cory should apologize.
It was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
Damn, that old cracker really got called out by his VP, who's basically a lizard bitch, but nonetheless, basically, you're called out for being a segregationist and supporting these fucking people. But you're elected president, or you stole the election and ran with it. But being called out by the lowest life form, which is some cunt that would go down on all fours and blow her way up to the top, that's a new low. Even for you, you faggoty white piece of shit. But let's continue on.
To coddle the reputations of segregationists, of people who, if they had their way, I would literally not be standing here as a member of the United States Senate, is, I think, it's misinformed and it's wrong.
But Biden is not backing down.
Apologize for what?
So you're trying to portray Ted Cruz as a segregationalist when you're playing devil advocate to a known white supremacist who has more racist gab than any person. And you can say it's because of his old dementia or whatever that piece of shit is going on in his fucking head. Maybe someone needs to change his diaper. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care. This person has been known to push segregation to the max. has been called out by his lizard bitch VP. But you want to portray Ted Cruz as a racist. Try another goddamn argument, cunt. Next clip.
Let both of you respond to him, starting with you, Senator, your colleague, Ted Cruz.
Oh my God, like you said, it's beyond offensive, it's beyond enraging, not just as a member of the Senate and a person of color, a voter of color in the United States of America, but as a former Secretary of State in California, where we know how to protect the security and integrity of our elections, but increase access to the ballot. Imagine that helping people vote easier. You know, it's what really upsets me, the hypocrisy of our Republican colleagues who say they want to make it easier to vote, but harder to cheat. We've already done the second part. Voter fraud is exceedingly rare in America, but they forget about the first part. They have no interest in making it easier for eligible people to vote. That's what S1 is all about. We can modernize our elections, strengthen our democracy, and create a baseline for voting rights across the country, and clearly they want no part of it.
You know,
For fuck's sake, another goddamn Californian? You fucking assholes don't do fair elections. For fuck's sake, you let in fucking illegals vote in your goddamn elections, you hide them out, and not only that, let's go through the fact that you actually suppressed Larry Elder's chance of becoming governor, getting rid of that other fucking jackass. Fair and equal election, you can kiss my ass.
you work for an organization that has been fighting against Jim Crow and including Jim Crow voting laws, which were specifically designed to stop black people from being able to vote. What Ted Cruz's state, they sued to try to overturn the votes of other states' elections. Ted Cruz could give a damn about Jim Crow. He's never raised one concern ever in his entire life that I've ever heard about Jim Crow or racism or discrimination. Well, we shall see what happens. I think that this, what you see here on your screen, is what Republicans fear in the voting booth, and they're going to do everything they can to make sure it doesn't happen, including, you know, Stephen from Django Unchained, a.k.a. Ted Cruz, who's working to stop fellow people of color from voting, which is amazing. Senator Alex Padilla, Janae Nelson, thank you both very much.
Just note this. You don't speak for anybody in this fucking country, especially people of color. You don't speak for me, you don't speak for anybody. I do not support Biden. I will never support that cracker. He's a piece of shit. How dare you say that we need to go ahead and support these people, and then you tell us, well, it's voter suppression. So no, it's not. Voter suppression is when these fucking Democrats come in and allow a bunch of illegal aliens to come into the goddamn country, take it over, so they can get more votes. And putting a black face to it isn't helping. You don't represent me. I ain't black. I'm Jamaican American. Deal with it.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.